Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Presidency says CBN has no reason to disobey Supreme Court order on Naira redesign. APC national leadership meets new lawmakers to strategize on 10th National Assembly. Over 100 shops raised as fire guts Singa commodities market in KANO. And on the foreign scene, Cyclone FREDDY returns, kills 70 in Malawi, Mozambique. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. President Muhammadu Buhari has not directed the Attorney General of the Federation and the CBN Governor to disobey any court orders involving the government and other parties. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, on Monday said the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has no reason not to comply with the Supreme Court order on Naira redesign on the excuse of waiting for directives from President Muhammadu Buhari. Garba Shehu, in a statement, said the President never told the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, to disobey any court. The Supreme Court had on March the 3rd ordered that old 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes remain valid till December the 31st this year. This followed the legal suit instituted by some states challenging the Naira redesign policy. However, the situation has not changed since the order was given, prompting 10 states to begin contempt proceedings against the CBN and the Justice Minister. President of the Nigeria Bar Association in the meantime, Yakubu Chonoko Mekel, SAN, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately direct compliance with the terms of the orders made by the Supreme Court in its judgment delivered on 3rd March 2023 in respect of the Naira redesign policy. In a statement on Monday, Mekel said whenever public confidence in the other arms of government begins to wane, the judiciary must rise to the occasion by delivering justice with such courage and precision to provide succor to the people. The Naira crisis has taken a new dimension in Benue State, with customers now sleeping on queues to make withdrawals from their banks. Our reporter, Jime Azande, who is monitoring the situation, gives us an update from Makudi. Here's that report.
In the early hours of Monday, some customers were notified by their banks that there is no cash in their vaults for withdrawal. In some of the banks, there was chaos at the gate once the bankers announced that they could only pay 3,000 Naira only per customer. While some were okay with the bank's decision, it became an issue to get into the banking hall.
The experience here is not a pleasant one. I've been here since to 6 a.m. Actually, the workers tried their best. We were giving numbers so that people will go in queues according to the number. But some young men came and they refused to follow the protocol, and so they get the place chunked up. Nobody's going in, nobody's coming out.
Other customers said they had complaints from unsuccessful bank transfers, but could not get into the bank halls because of crowds.
We are trying to withdraw. Some people are trying to deposit the old cash, while some people are trying to rectify their problem due to internet issues. Sometimes some people do not receive alerts, while some people debited without receiving cash. So everybody's here struggling for their own problem. I personally, I came here very early in the morning to receive number 18 before 6 o'clock. Until now, I have not entered the bank.
I came here to withdraw some money. Since morning, I'm still here standing, not being able to even go inside. Whoever is responsible, they should find a way of allowing customers to withdraw their money, and as much as they want. When you go in now, they ask you to take. Today they say we should take only 3,000 maximum. It's as I don't know. What can 3,000 do for us? For me in particular.
Some describe efforts to access cash as frustrating and wonder why the CBN and the federal government have not come clean on the verdict of the Apex Court.
Once a customer here, I operate with this bank access. I was here since in the morning, around 6 o'clock, and this is how the queue has been here. And nothing is happening. People are not going in, They are not coming out. They came out, they told us they are going to pay 3,000 naira today. But up to now, we have not gotten the headway. Up to now, we are just still under the sun. So this suffering is too much for us. I believe the government should intervene. We are calling for the government to intervene because this thing is getting too much. We are suffering here. The suffering is too much for us.
The Supreme Court had in a judgment ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria to recirculate the old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes to coexist with the new ones until the end of December 2023, when the old notes will cease to become legal tender. This order from the Apex Court has not eased the pains of ordinary Nigerians who depend on cash for their daily needs.
In a related development, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed commercial banks to dispense old currency notes and to also receive same as deposits from customers. This was disclosed by Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Charles Soludo, a former central bank governor, in a special announcement on his verified Facebook page this morning. The Anambra State governor said tellers at the commercial banks are to generate the codes for deposits, and there is no limit to the number of times an individual or company can make deposits. Soludo said the CBN governor gave the directive at a bankers committee meeting held on Sunday, the 12th of March 2023. Soludo also said the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, personally confirmed the above to him during a phone conversation on Sunday night, advising residents of Anambra to freely accept and transact their businesses with the old currency notes of 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira, as well as the new notes. The CBN has, at the time of this story, not debunked the claim of Governor Soludo. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has on Monday given a 7-day ultimatum to the federal government to address the current issues of fuel and naira scarcity in the country. NLC President Joe Ajaero said this while briefing journalists at Labour House Abuja on the outcome of a meeting convened by the Central Working Committee of the Congress. The Labour leader, who bemoaned continued hardship by which Nigerians are subjected to, argued that Nigerians, especially workers, have been pushed to the wall and they can no longer keep quiet. He added on this issue of fuel, the Congress wishes to inform the federal government that we will no longer keep quiet on this issue of perennial fuel scarcity and arbitrary increases on petroleum. The NLC president also accused some state governors of interfering in the affairs of the organized labor, saying many of them are insisting that some persons must be put as a Congress state chairman. Ajaero, who cited Imo as where such development happened a few days ago, threatened that economic activities in the state would be paralyzed for a long time should the state governor Hope Uzodimma interfere in the Congress affairs in the state. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress has met with senators and members of the House of Representatives elected on the party platform to begin consultations and negotiations ahead of the selection of principal officers in the 10th National Assembly. Despite the fact that meetings like this are often arranged to zone offices in the emerging National Assembly, the leadership of the party would have Nigerians believe that the issue was not discussed. A glaring absentee at the meeting was President-elect Bola Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. Kainde Amodu now reports. As we await Kainde's story, we go now to the fact that the two chambers of the National Assembly have postponed the plenary till Tuesday, March the 21st, 2023. Earlier, the Parliament had adjourned plenary till Tuesday, March 14th to enable lawmakers participate in the governorship and state assemblies elections earlier fixed for March 11th, but was later shifted to March 18th. The clerk of the Senate, Chinedu Francis Akubweze, disclosed this in a message to senators on Monday. Similarly, the clerk of the House of Representatives, Yaya Danzaria, told the lawmakers that the change in resumption date is to enable them to partake in the polls. The legal team of the Labour Party on Monday met with officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Abuja over the inspection of electoral materials used for the February 25th presidential election. The head of the legal team, Livy Uzoku, led 60 lawyers to the meeting, which was held at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. The team was at INEC to discuss modalities for obtaining key documents that will assist the LP in prosecuting its case at the Presidential Election Petition Court, PEPC. In the meantime, INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu assured the Labour Party's legal team of the Commission's readiness to provide all documents needed to prosecute its case at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. He made the comment in a meeting with the LP legal team at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja.
Concrete assurance on record that all documents we require will be made available, and if possible, some of them will be made available to us today. So, and we believe that will happen, and we are living here rest assured that, out of this hall, by the time we leave our premises, that the documents, at least we leave with some documents, and the rest could then come from tomorrow, next, and so on and so forth.
I want to assure you that the Commission will not hide any document from anybody and will make any document that you have requested. There are two categories of documents. Those that are in possession of the headquarters of INEC will easily make these documents available to you, specifically the EC8Ds from the states and the ECDA, which is the collation at the National Collation Center by the Commission itself, the EC8E, the declaration. So meaning a total of, I think, 39 documents. This we can easily certify and give you almost immediately. So we need to work out the schedule so that we know when your team is going to which state and on which date, so that we can easily facilitate not just certification of documents, but also the inspection that you requested for.
We earlier told you that the leadership of the All Progressive Congress has met with senators and members of the House of Representatives elected on the party platform to begin consultations and negotiations ahead of the selection of principal officers in the 10th National Assembly. Our correspondent Kainde Amodu reports that a glaring absentee at the meeting was President-elect Bola Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. Here's that report.
History is a great teacher. The rancorous emergence of the leadership of the 8th National Assembly is etched starkly in the minds of members of the All Progressive Congress, and so the party is starting early to set parameters ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in June. APC lawmakers-elect arrive at the banquet hall of the presidential villa for a meeting. It is the first interface of the elected APC lawmakers with the party leadership since their victory on the ballot and after receiving their certificates of return.
It is also my hope and prayer that the 10th Senate and indeed the 10th National Assembly as a whole will jealously guard and protect the constitutional provision of separation of powers.
This is the first time in the history of our democracy that we're going to be having representation of the floor through this high number of political parties. But the good thing about it is it will foster better and greater negotiation.
As the APC begins to fine-tune the process of electing principal officers that will steer the affairs of the parliament, all things are being kept under wraps, and the party is downplaying the politics of zoning, which will determine who gets what in the emerging National Assembly.
If APC decides to zone just to give a balance and to give every segment of the country a sense of belonging, it's good. Some other party might decide not to and say winner takes all. For us, the most important thing is having Nigeria as a single entity.
Yes, we're not there yet. We have another election coming up this weekend, and we need to make sure that everybody goes back home. Roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty.
It's a family affair. This is not the right time to talk about zoning. All we need now is to consolidate on our victory.
Members of the National Assembly should produce their leadership based on who they think is the best, and also considering the issues at stake. Putting in place for our head justice, fairness, equity.
We don't want to be preemptive. I know first and foremost is to welcome ourselves and congratulate ourselves on the resounding victory recorded on February 25. And going forward will be what are the issues regarding the leadership of the National Assembly.
While it is highly unlikely that zoning was not discussed, the official line being told is that the topmost priority for now is winning the second leg of the general elections. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in an appeal filed by Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), challenging the judgment of an election petition tribunal which nullified his victory in the Osun governorship election. A three-member panel led by Justice Muhammad Shuaibu, after taking arguments from all parties in the suit, said the judgment will be delivered at a later date. Senator Adeleke had won the said election held on 16th of July 2022, but the result was nullified on grounds of overvoting. Here's that report.
The courtroom at the Court of Appeal Abuja Division is filled with lawyers and supporters of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke and his predecessor Adegboyega Oyetola, who are here to witness proceedings in the appeal filed by Adeleke, challenging the judgment of Election Petition Tribunal in Osun State, which nullified his election as governor of the state. At the resumed hearing, counsel to Adeleke tells the court that a member of the panel, who is also a chief magistrate, did not air her opinion during the judgment delivery, but only appended her signature. Counsel to Oyetola, however, argues that signing of the judgment and not making any comment afterwards does not make the judgment invalid. In his defense, however, Onyechi Ikpeazu held that results stored in the back-end server are inconsistent and not reliable, as they can be affected by internet connectivity and battery life of the beavers used to upload the results. On the cross-appeal filed by Oyetola challenging the documents of Adeleke, the court held that it has been addressed in a previous judgment as such was an anomaly.
In this respect, on the issue of the alleged forgery of a testimonial, which saw Osun State appearing on a testimonial for a person who had been educated before the creation of Osun State, the Court of Appeal held in that case that it was a simple error, that he ought to have gone back to rectify the anomaly, but not having done that, that it wasn't an issue of forgery.
That everything has gone well for both sides. All the appeals, including the cross appeals, have been heard, and we're all in court when the court adjourned the matter to a date to be communicated to all of us. Simply, for judgment.
INEC on its part insists that there was no overvoting during the Osun election.
Just as with the presidential election, you will agree that all the results have not also been transmitted. So if you get a result, a CTC today, and tomorrow another person applies, he may get a different data because the data will go is going in bits. So you cannot, because of section 62 of the Electoral Act that authorizes INEC to update the data from time to time.
The court also reserved judgment in the PDP and INEC appeals. INEC had declared Adeleke winner of the Osun governorship election, but in a split decision of 2-1, the Election Petition Tribunal invalidated the election and declared Oyetola as winner. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And to fallout of the postponement of the governorship election, some parents and brides in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say the postponement of the governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission has disrupted plans for their marriages scheduled for Saturday, March 18th. According to them, the development has made them to reschedule the marriages to other dates. Ado Musa completes that report.
It is not uncommon that marriages in Nigeria are held on Saturdays and Sundays to allow more people who are busy with work within the week to attend. Those who had planned to get married on Saturday 18 March were forced to reschedule their events as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) postponed the March 11 governorship and the state houses of assembly polls to that day. In Jos, the postponement of the poll has affected some marriages and cost parents a lot. Nurat Abdulhamid, whose marriage was earlier planned to hold on 11 March and later rescheduled to 18 March due to the poll, has been shifted to a later day in May this year.
My wedding is supposed to hold on the 11th of March 2023, when we were expecting the election supposed to be on 4, governorship election. So the election is now postponed. So we have to postpone our wedding again till 18th of March. Still, the 18th now, they still postpone the election till 18th. So postponing the election is enough for us. So we just decide we should leave the wedding till after Salah.
Rukaya Dati, whose marriage was shifted 2 times because of the election, explains how she feels about the postponement.
Actually, I feel bad because I have started my preparations. So due to the postponement of the election, so I have nothing to say but to say that Alhamdulillah. My friends, my family, everybody feel bad, but we have nothing to do.
Parents of Rukaya, who plan to have the marriage of their daughter on the 18th of March, but change it to the 21st, said the situation has cost them a lot.
You know, everything is planned according to the will of Allah. This marriage is supposed to take place since on the 11th of March. But due to the election, we postponed it to the 18th, not knowing that the even 18th will be that election day. So we have already printed card, paid for souvenir, paid for halls, hotels for my guests and everything, not knowing that the election will not hold that day. So I have to go and reschedule my arrangement and arrange with the hotel owners and the souvenir to print another IB to let people understand that the marriage is going to take place on the 21st of this month. The election cost me a lot, but there is nothing I can do because I believe that is the will of Allah.
The marriage was earlier fixed for 11 March, but later changed to 18 March and now changed to 21st. We have made all necessary arrangements, but right now, there's nothing we can do in the circumstance other than to bear with the situation. It has been permitted to happen. It is the will of Allah. Rukaya, whose marriage is rescheduled to hold on 21st March, is hopeful that the new date will not be changed again. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Fire broke out at the popular commodities Singer Market in KANO, which is located along Ibrahim Taiwo Road leading to Bello Road. The fire, according to eyewitnesses, started at midnight, but it couldn't be controlled until a little after 8 in the morning. Firefighters alongside marketers were working to bring the situation under control and prevent the fire from spreading to other places. Singer is located along Ibrahim Taiwo Road in KANO and is the largest market where foodstuffs are sold in the state. Some of the victims whose shops were razed narrate their ordeal.
I received a call around 1:30 a.m. that our stores are on fire. By the time we arrived here, everything is gone. And we learned that the fire started from one woman that has a cold room. She's selling pure water. But I must tell you that I lost almost 13,000 cartons of seasoning. I'm not even feeling fine, but I was on surgery. So we received a call that our stores are on fire, and we rush here. I must tell you that I lost everything here. We just pray to God that God should replace it for us, but we have lost everything.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, we take a look at 66-year-old mentor of porters at Green Market who describes his activities. Stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Presidency says CBN has no reason to disobey Supreme Court order on Naira redesign. And APC national leadership meets new lawmakers to strategize on 10th National Assembly. Moving now to other stories. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has rescheduled the 2023 mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination to March 30th, 2023 due to Saturday's Governorship and State Assembly selection. The board announced this in a statement by the head Public Affairs and Protocol, Fabian Benjamin, on Monday in Abuja. The 2023 mock UTME was initially scheduled for Thursday, March the 16th of 2023. And to security stories now, operatives of the Ogun State Police Command have rescued a journalist, Sheung Odunaye, from kidnappers after a gun battle which reportedly lasted for 45 minutes. Odunaye, who is the publisher of Issues magazine, was kidnapped at Mobalufon area of Ijebode on Thursday. The journalist was on his way to Ijebode from Abeokuta when the kidnappers pounced on him at Mobalufon area. He was riding in his Toyota Camry car when he was attacked at about 7:50 in the evening. The abductors phoned his wife the following morning and demanded 30 million naira ransom to free the victim. Police spokesman Abimbola Oyeyemi on Monday morning, however, confirmed the rescue of the journalist. He said after the report of the kidnapping, the Commissioner of Police, Frank Mba, directed the DPO Obalende Divisional Headquarters, SP Murphy Salami, to ensure the safe rescue of the victim. Oyeyemi quoted the CP to have warned criminals to stay clear of Ogun State, as the command is battle ready to take the fight to their doorstep. In the meantime, troops of 26th Task Force Brigade have been charged to remain dogged and deal decisively with the Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists within their area of operations. A statement from the Army headquarters said the General Officer commanding 7th Division and Commander Sector 1 of Operation Harinkai, Major General Wadi Shuaibu, gave the charge on Sunday while on an operational visit to assess the combat readiness of frontline troops deployed in the Guzag general area of Borno State. Major General Shuaibu also tasked the frontline troops to remain courageous, disciplined and professional while urging them to eschew all acts inimical to actualizing their operational mandate. The Sector 1 commander warned the troops that acts of indiscipline and cowardice would not be condoned and charged them to maintain an offensive posture and remain vigilant. The councillor representing Echara Ward 2 in Okosi community of Ohozara, local government area of Ebonyi State, Ogbonnaya Ugu, popularly known as Spaku, has been killed by unknown assailants. It was gathered that Ugu was killed around 10 o'clock in the night on Saturday as he was returning from his shop. Sources in Okosi said Ugu was accosted by the gunmen around Okosi Court Area Junction. A video clip on social media shows the burnt remains of the slain councillor being removed from the scene. Police spokesperson in Ebonyi State, Onome Onobakweya, who confirmed the killing, said the police were investigating the incident. Goods cannot be moved without the energy and labor of porters at northern grain markets. They help merchants convey their goods to various destinations to put food on the table. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail meets a 66-year-old leader of grain porters in Bajoga, known as Sarkin Elkom Bajoga, in Gombe State, on his successes and his struggles.
The 66-year-old Abubakar Sarkin Elkom Bajoga has been conveying bags of grains for over 45 years. Abubakar's outstanding performance and success as a laborer earned him the title of Sarkin Elkom Bajoga, Funakai local government area of Gombe State. In addition, he built house and sponsored his children's education from the proceeds.
I achieved a lot. I have provided for my family and children from the proceeds as a laborer. I am successful. In those days, we were paid between 2 naira 1 kobo to convey a bag of grain, to a time when we received 80 naira per bag.
The 66-year-old said hundreds of youth also make fortunes from the job, calling on governments to support them.
Empty promises are being made to the poor, but there is no light at the end of the tunnel. We never receive any assistance as laborers.
a ce hukuma ga wannan abu ta dauka ta taimakawa talaka ba a cikin leburori.
We only support ourselves. At times, we contribute money to support a member who is in need, but we hope the support will come one day.
Having worked for 45 years, the Sarkin Dako has retired from the job, but he still mentors young members of the Ndako group at the Bajoga Grain Market. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Abubakar Sarkin Dako Bajoga, showing that there is dignity in labor. In the meantime, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has announced that international runways 18R and 36L at Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos will be shut for repairs. FAN disclosed this in a statement on Monday, that the runway will be closed for 8 weeks for maintenance. The agency stated that taxiway B18L will be used instead for all flight operations until the maintenance is done. Earlier this year, the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency shut down the same international runway for a few hours for maintenance. The need for teachers to inculcate the right academic and social morals in children to guarantee the effective development of the child has been advocated. This was brought to the fore at the Teachers Advocacy Research and Development Training in Abuja. Kabir Lawal has more on that story.
Experts in child care and development joined Ilmi Children's Fund to advocate for the girl-child education and the need for children to improve their lot with the development of technology.
This gathering is termed, it's called Training, Advocacy, Research and Mentorship. And the aim of this program is seeing how we can break the barriers with regards to girl-child education to improve outcomes in terms of retention, completion and transition, which are some of the greatest barriers that we're having with the girl child in terms of girl education. So what we've done here today is to bring their teachers together to see how do we train these teachers to identify problem areas that these girls may be facing.
They also added that the importance of mentorship cannot be overemphasized in the lives of children, especially the girl child, as it will enable them have basic knowledge of growing into responsible women and mothers.
These teachers, I see them today and they are hungry for knowledge, they're hungry for improvement. So it's up to us to do our bit to improve their teaching ability. And well, it's a continuous practice. It's not something that is just a one-off thing. Teaching and putting what you've taught into practice is something that has to be done frequently.
A mentorship is actually a process of having a mentee undergoing some kind of orientation by a mentor on a particular thing you really want to get the mentee oriented.
Teachers on their part advised parents not to leave the job of mentorship and the child upbringing for them alone, but also play active roles in the overall development of children, especially the child.
The first thing is that teachers are supposed to be role model. Whatever you don't want your child or your student to do, don't bother to do it. And the world becoming global village, teachers must be able to use the computer.
Well, I'm here for the term program. So on girl child advocacy training, mentoring of the girl child, the female children, how to help them, to be better for themselves, to be better for the society.
Saying that the children should think like the old ones is just like, as in we are still moving back.
Stakeholders believe that the importance of mentorship in the lives of children should be a priority not only to parents or teachers, but to all, as any negative vice that arises from an improperly trained child affects the entire society. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Minister of Education, Adamu, has called for the promotion of unity, love, peace and prosperity as a foundation of development for the country in particular and the body of Commonwealth nations in general. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, who represented the Minister, disclosed this at the Ministry's Commonwealth Day celebration themed Forging a Sustainable and Peaceful Common Future. Newell Sampson was there, now reports.
The Commonwealth is an association of countries across the world. Although historically connected to the British Empire, any country can apply to be a member of the Commonwealth, regardless of its intersection with Britain's colonial past. It consists of 54 countries, including the United Kingdom, hence the importance of the celebration.
We all know the existence of peace in any space of human aggregation or nation translates to progress, wealth, and tranquility. It enhances positive outcomes in trade, investment, human rights, democratic governance, quality education, digitized learning, and most importantly, entrenches equity and equality, which in Nigeria and most developed nations means empowerment of youths, women, and the girl child.
As you've been told, Commonwealth Day is an annual celebration observed by people all over the Commonwealth in Africa, Asia, the Caribbean and Americas, the Pacific, and in Europe. This year's theme for the Commonwealth Day 2023, again as you've been told, is forging a sustainable and peaceful common future. I believe that this theme is apt.
The significance of the Commonwealth as an organization was re-echoed by some dignitaries as a reminder of the ideals that cement their relationship.
The Commonwealth remains the largest gathering of nations and their colonial masters that has evolved into a partnership where all members from all the colonial masters themselves to the most advanced members and the least developing ones work together to ensure development within each member country.
The theme today, forging a sustainable, peaceful and common future, is very apt and relevant. This is because we, the 56 countries, have to work together. We have to connect, innovate and transform together. Connect through values of democracy, respecting diversity, and above all working towards a sustainable future for all of us, for the common good.
Highlights of the event was the conferment of the 2023 Commonwealth Award of Excellence on the Ministry of Education, as well as parade of Commonwealth Heads of Government and Cultural Dance. Wow, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A political mentor to many aspiring female politicians, Franca Afebwa, has passed away. Her death is coming at a time when the number of women lawmakers dropped from 7 in the 9th Senate to 3 in the 10th Assembly. Chawun Dabeng profiles the first female senator in the Second Republic.
Franca Afebwa, a native of Okpela, now in Esako East local government area of Edo State, was born 20th October 1943. The woman became revered as Nigeria's first elected female senator who ventured into politics in the early 1980s. Senator Joseph Taka from Benue State first introduced Afebwa to National Party of Nigeria (NPN). In 1983, Afebwa declared her intentions to run for the Bendo North senatorial seat. Following her declaration, NPN showed a strong opposition to her intentions as the senatorial seat was relegated to respected men of the community. However, Afebwa made the play to woo women voters to her side. Though many felt she wouldn't win, Afebwa was able to score a marginal victory against her opponent John Umolu in October 1983. She was elected as senator representing Bendo North under the National Party of Nigeria (NPN) in Nigeria's Second Republic. Unfortunately, her time as senator was cut short following a military coup in December 1983 that overthrew the civilian government barely 3 months after she stepped into office. Franca Afebwa's brother Kazim Afebwa said she passed away in the early hours of Sunday, 12th March, after battling an undisclosed illness. Afebwa's family describes her as a woman who used beauty and brains to serve her country. Chawun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Sad loss of an Amazon. And now to some foreign news. The Texas Board of Nursing in the United States has released a 75-person probe list indicating that 43 Nigerians are under investigation for false educational credentials. According to information on the board's website about the probe tagged Operation Nightingale, the individuals who acquired the fraudulent nursing credentials used them to qualify to sit for the National Nursing Board exam. The alleged scheme involved the selling of fake and fraudulent nursing degree diplomas and transcripts obtained from accredited Florida-based nursing schools to registered nurse, RN, and licensed practical vocational nurse LPN-VN candidates. The board noted that it is working with all appropriate nursing regulatory bodies, nursing education program providers, accreditation bodies, and authorities to detect, investigate, and resolve the matter as quickly as possible, including seeking revocation of any license obtained through fraudulent means. This is Trust News Hour. We take a short break now. Do stay. Thank you for rejoining us. Time now to join Chamun Dabeng for some business news.
Report released by the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprises, the federal government's attempt to mop over 70% of cash through the Central Bank of Nigeria has caused the Nigerian economy to stagnate and lose over 20 trillion naira. It claimed that in addition to crippling economic activity nationwide, the prolonged acute cash shortage now poses a serious threat to the livelihoods of the majority of Nigerians. The director CPPE, Muda Yusuf, who is calling on the president to act immediately, said that Nigerians have not been this traumatized in recent history. He emphasized how stressful and upsetting retail transactions had become across all industries due to ongoing payment system issues. In February 2023, cashless transactions in Nigeria plummeted to 37.67 trillion naira as a result of hiccups and delays in cash transfers. According to new data released by the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System (NIBSS) on Monday, this represented a 4.83% decrease from the 39.58 trillion naira that was recorded in January. E-payment gateway usage increased from 638 million uses in January to 901.46 million uses in February, a 41.29% rise. Despite a rise in usage, there were more unsuccessful transactions in February as the total amount of cashless transactions dropped. The Nigeria Immediate Payment System and point-of-sale terminals, cashless transactions are recorded by the NIBSS, the primary payment switch in the nation. The overall decrease to 36.79 trillion naira in February from 38.772 trillion naira in January. The value of POS transactions increased from 807.16 billion naira in January to 883.45 billion naira in February, according to data from the NIBSS indicating sustained use of POS terminals. The Murtala Mohammed International Airport MMIA in Lagos will close runways 18R and 36L for maintenance, according to the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN. This was revealed by FAN on Monday via tweet. The agency stated that the runway work will take 8 weeks to complete. Additionally, it guaranteed that no disruption to regular airline operations would occur because all flight operations would take place on taxiway B18L. That's all for business news. I am Chamun Dabeng.
Thank you, Chamun. Cyclone FREDDY, packing powerful winds and torrential rain, killed at least 70 people in Malawi and Mozambique on its return to southern Africa's mainland Monday. More than 60 bodies were found during the day in southern Malawi, where heavy downpours triggered flooding across to the Red Cross. 4 more died. According to the Red Cross, 4 more died in neighboring Mozambique, local authorities have said. An assessment of the damage was still underway, with the Mozambique National Institute for Disaster Management saying the fallout from the storm's second landfall in the country was worse than expected. Upon its return, it carried even stronger winds and rains. In total, FREDDY has so far killed at least 97 people, 66 in Malawi, 14 in Mozambique, and 17 in Madagascar. The last cyclones to cross the entire southern Indian Ocean were tropical cyclones Leon, Eline, and Huda in 2000. Tunisia's new parliament, elected in December and January in a vote with a turnout of 11%, sat for the first time on Monday, with the opposition coalition saying it would not recognize its legitimacy. Independent journalists were barred from attending the opening session of Parliament for the first time since the 2011 revolution. Only state TV and radio and the state news agency were allowed to cover the event. President Kais Saied suspended the former Parliament in July of 2021, moving to rule by fiat in a move that opposition parties called a coup. He has said his actions were guided by law and intended to save the nation from implosion. Under the constitution written by President Saied and ratified by a referendum with a low turnout of 30%, Tunisia's new parliament will wield limited power compared to its predecessor. Most of its members are independents, since parties largely boycotted the election and candidates ran without party affiliation. The National Salvation Front, the primary opposition alliance, comprised of Ennahda, Tunisia's largest party, and activists, declared on Monday that it would not acknowledge a parliament arising from a coup resulting from elections shunned by the majority of citizens. And on to sports. Paris Saint-Germain defender charged with rape in France was called into the Morocco squad Monday for friendly games against Brazil and Peru. One of the stars of Morocco's historic charge to the semi-finals of the World Cup last year, Hakimi, was charged earlier this month with allegedly raping a 24-year-old woman. Hakimi allegedly paid for his accuser to travel to his home on February the 25th in the Paris suburb of Boulogne-Billancourt while his wife and children were away on holiday. The match against Brazil will be held on March 25th in Tangiers, while the game against Peru is due for March 28th in Madrid. In Qatar, Hakimi was a cornerstone of the Morocco team that became the first African or Arab nation to reach the semi-finals of a World Cup. Time now to ask Adeni Ajishafe for more on sports.
The bronze winning team at Under-20 AFCON in Egypt were received at the VIP lounge of MK Abiola Stadium after their heroic performance, which also earned them a World Cup ticket to be hosted by Indonesia. The Flying Eagles played 6 matches at Under-20 AFCON, won 4, lost 2, conceded 2 and scored 8 goals. Nigerian Football Federation President Ibrahim Guzo, represented by Director of Communication Ademola Lajire, while presenting the team to the Minister of Sports and Youth Development, Sunday Dare, thanked the team for winning the Fair Play Award, noting that the award is proof that they showed good character at the competition to be adjudged the best behaved team.
So thanks to the support of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport, the team will be at the World Cup. The draw is at the end of this month, and Nigeria will be one of the 24 nations taking part in that tournament. So they are winners, and just like yourself, they have come to say thank you for the support and waiting for more words of encouragement.
Coach Ladan Bozo thanked the federal government for the support for the team as well as government's non-interference. Bozo added that the team's target is the World Cup trophy.
Honorable Mr. Sir, we know that you are a developer, you are always going to see the go around the grassroots. You have adopted some athletes and they are now serving a purpose to Nigeria. And that is why we are key to that so that the synergy will run. Yes, of course. For the players, I want to thank you all because it is not easy. We are going to say, if you are last, don't come again.
Minister of Sport and Youth Development Sunday Dare appreciated the team and the technical crew led by Ladan Bozo for a job well done. The minister said the World Cup is not a child's play, as the best of the world will be at Indonesia to fight for the trophy, and all the Flying Eagles to be better off as they prepare for the Under-20 World Cup.
While welcoming you, there's a challenge that I want to give to you like I did last time. The World Cup is not a joke. It's for the Lionhearts. You have to do more than what you did at AFCON. You've been meeting with some of the best players, some of the best teams from across the world. So I know that the next several weeks will not be easy, the drilling, the training, and then we'll expect you to be at your best.
Flying Eagles have won the Under-20 Nations Cup 7 times and the bronze 4 times at the continental level, and have also been runner-up twice at the world level. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
Thank you, Adeni, as always, for bringing us up to date on sports. And with that, we have come to the end of Trust TV News Hour. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. On behalf of all of us, I am Eugenia Abu. Thank you for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.